A very good evening, everyone. I really hope you're all doing great and staying absolutely safe as well. Please do let me in the comment section if I'm clearly audible and visible to all of you. So I can certainly see uh, a lot of students are already there in the comment section. Hello, Narendra, Manav, Rajiv Lal, all the people out there. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to you guys. So I can read all your comments as well. And again, as I can say, this is going to be a very important session, all of you. Now, let me tell you one very important aspect of this very session. The coverage is going to be like May, June, July. I'll be covering the current affairs basically pertaining to May, June, July in this very session. And it is going to be important for every examination. You may be preparing for CDS examination, you may be preparing for any other exam also. This session is going to be super important for all the people out there. So I want to make this thing very much clear. So hello Vainur, welcome. Narendra, welcome. So we'll be having explanation for each and every question, and we will also be having interactive maps and everything which can make your journey a bit easier. So I'll try to make sure that we have everything in that regards. All right. So on this very positive note, let us start this very session, and I am hopeful that this session is going to be a great beneficial session for all of you. So everybody who is watching this session, they are going to gain immensely from this very session. So yesterday we did a session that was related to geography. Today we are basically doing a session which is related to, of course, the current affairs part, as you all can see. So let us just start the session now. So yeah, all set. Now, without further ado, I'll be starting the session today. Now, this is the first question. This was in a lot of news, and that is known as Kannadi Paya, which has received the GI tag. Okay, recently it has got the GI tag. My question is that what exactly is it all about? Is it a type of pottery? Is it traditional tribal handicraft? Is it metal craft, or is it wooden sculpture? That's what I want to know. Anji Jagrup ji, welcome. Sat Shri Akal ji, good evening. Tell me. So how do you look at this particular thing? And make sure you add this video in your liked videos, everyone. Do hit the like button so that this video goes directly into your liked videos as well. Please answer this one. I'm just sorting some gadgets. Yeah, perfect. Now, since this has been in a lot of news, you have to know about it. Anji Tushar, good evening ji, good evening. Chalo, welcome everyone once again. So try to answer this question. Kannadi Paya. Any guesses it's from where? It comes from Kerala. K for Kannadi Paya, K for Kerala. And it is related to Kerala tribals. And it's a very important handicraft from Kerala, remember. So in your art and culture notes, do add this particular thing because this can be very much important. So it's a mat, like we say chatai. So it's like a chatai. You can have a look like this. So it's basically a mat. This is what Kannadi Paya is. So it's a traditional tribal handicraft, which basically means mirror mat. It's from Kerala. So the tribals make that. It's very good quality of mat. They have woven from reed bamboos, and so many other bamboo varieties they use. So it is very good because it gives cooling effect in the summers and warmth in the winter. So it has got unique properties. So this is why, when we talk about the sustainable future, such type of technologies are going to be the center point when we talk about the sustainable future. So this, of course, is very much important. Got it? So I hope you have got a decent level of idea. Very easy. Let's move to the next one. Now, the next question is related to a very important policy of the government. That's a question number 2 for today. The question says, with reference to one state, one RRB, consider the following statement. So we have got two statements. One, it's a strategic initiative led by NABARD. Second, it aims to restructure and consolidate regional rural banks within the same state in India. Tell me, what exactly is it all about? Good job. Now, in such questions, though it's a current affair question, but what I would request is that never see it as a current affair question. What in fact are you supposed to do? You have to see this as, a very logical question. And basically, you have to understand that what is the functioning of NABARD? NABARD is for the refinance, but for the rural and agriculture. So it has nothing to do with this particular aspect. Let me tell you one thing. It is basically DFS, that is Department of Financial Services, which has notified the amalgamation of 26 regional rural banks on the principle of one state, one RRB. It's basically the fourth phase of amalgamation. So this one is very much important, that this is not a move by NABARD. This is a move by Department of Financial Services, which is under Ministry of Finance. So please be very clear about this thing. Anything related to the bank's operations, DFS is going to do that. That's very much clear. So Ministry of Finance is doing that through Department of Financial Services. So NABARD is not going to do that, of course. Yeah, no doubt that it's going to restructure and consolidate regional rural banks. So yeah, second statement is correct. So one state, one RRB policy of the government aims to restructure, in fact, consolidate the regional rural banks in India. Why? Because the banking efficiency is very much less as of now. So we have to improve the banking efficiency. We also have to enhance the financial inclusion. So all these things can be done only through this policy. So I would go with B as the right answer. B is the right answer because second is correct, one is incorrect. But are you understanding? This is a very important policy which we have to understand. One state, one RRB policy. So you can certainly read this as well. So don't worry, you will be getting it all in the PDF. So I'll be posting the PDF in the Telegram itself. Got it? So the people who are preparing for defense exams, they can go through the Defence Pariksha, and those who are not, they'll be getting the PDF normally. Don't worry about that. So have a look at this. When we talk about Department of Financial Services behind this particular scheme, very much important. Next question, let's talk about the case of Balram Singh versus Union of India, which was in news recently. It is related to which of the following? Now that's a very important one. Balram Singh versus Union of India. Now tell me, such questions have also been asked in the past. So I think we are supposed to have a decent level of clarity on these questions as well. Very good. It is Balram Singh versus Union of India. So this is a very basic question, by the way. Very good. So I can see a lot of students are giving the correct answer. Perfect. So this very case, if we talk about, Haji, good evening. This case is related to the aspect of eradication of manual scavenging and ensuring rehabilitation and compensation of the people who are affected by the manual scavenging. That's very much important. So so basically this is Supreme Court judgment, Balram Singh versus Union of India. But what is more important is recently why we saw this was in a lot of news. Let me tell you. In a landmark ruling, Andhra Pradesh High Court has directed the state government to pay compensation of 30 lakh and ensure proper rehabilitation of the families of sanitary workers. So this is very much important. People who are, cleaning sewage since 1993, they have to be given proper compensation. And let me tell you one thing, that recently, a lot of PILs were filed by so many concerned people. But what is more important is that this judgment was again in a lot of news, and that's why I have made this question. Very important, this. So you are supposed to, have a bare minimum idea about all the important judgments of Supreme Court, which recently we have again seen in some news. So in a lot of news, you see this kind of judgment. So you have to make sure you know that. Is that pretty 100% clear? Anyone who is having any doubt, they surely can let me know. Got it? So, okay. K218b. This was in a news, this was in a lot of news, in fact, recently. This is what? Asteroid, exoplanet, comet, or moon of Jupiter? Tell me. What exactly is this all about? Think about it. K218b. Very good. Let me tell you one thing. It is bigger than Earth. So it's quite far off from the Earth. So researchers have been studying the data from a planet. So basically it's a planet which is far off. So a planet which is very much far off is known as exoplanet. It's not a part of the solar system, of course. So it is exoplanet. Remember this thing. K2 18b. Now this is why, this is very much important, but what is the reason? According to the scientists, they think that this may be a habitable zone. Now we are not sure about that, but there is a chance that habitable zone may exist on this very planet. Got it? So maybe liquid water can be there, or other ingredients of the life. This is why this was in a lot of news. So let me tell you one thing, the researchers are studying the data from this planet K2-18b. It is 120 light years away. Now this is very much away. 120 light years means that in 120 years, how much distance the light is going to cover. That is what 120 light years is. So it is actually very much far off. But scientists have reported some signals of dimethyl sulfide and dimethyl disulfide from here. So maybe it may be a habitable zone. We don't know about it yet, but there is a chance. So it is massive. It's very big as compared to the Earth, but K2-18b you have to understand. All right. Okay. So let's move ahead. Let's move to the next point. Next question. Now, next question is about a port, which again is going to be very much important. The port which was in news is Ras Issa Port. So Ras Issa Port is located in which of the following countries? That's my question. Oman, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, or Somalia? The port is Ras Issa Port. Tell me what is the right answer. Ras Issa Port. Good job. So I hope you must have heard about this very port, Ras Issa Port. Now, why it was in a lot of news? Now, this is the very port where recently we saw that, a lot of surgical strikes were done. So Israel was also involved, USA was also involved. So basically, Ras Issa Port is in Yemen, near Sana'a. C is the right answer, Ras Issa Port. So of course, Middle East, it is very disturbed area. So if you see that closely, here we have this Ras Issa Port. So what is the problem? Because we have a lot of Houthi influence. And if we have Houthi influence, they impact the ship movement from Bab al-Mandeb. So if you have to go from Gulf of Aden to Red Sea, you have to cross Bab al-Mandeb. And this is where the choke point happens. So that's why this was in a lot of news. Ras Issa Port. Is that clear? So very basic one. This is. Yeah. So USA also conducted, airstrike, and of course, see, USA's biggest ally is Israel. Always remember this thing. So if USA is doing anything, Israel is very much deeply involved, especially in this very region. In this particular region, Israel is very, involved, very much involved in everything. Next is also place in news. Next one is known as Natuna Island. Natuna Island. This was also in a lot of news. You have to tell me two things. One, in which region it is. Second, it's a part of which country? Natuna Island is controlled by which country? That's my question. So tell me. Now that's a very basic question, right? Natuna Island is where? That's one question. A, B, C, D you can answer. Then you have to tell me it's a part of which country? That's very much important. Natuna Island. So let me see how many of you can answer that. Such questions we have seen in a lot of PCS exams and CDS as well. So I hope you're able to answer this. So it's a part of which country? That's my question. Natuna. Okay, let me tell you, it's a part of Indonesia. Okay. In the north of the Indonesia, we have Natuna Island. In fact, Indonesia's, Riau province, it's a part of that. So if it's a part of Indonesia, it will be present where? Not in Mediterranean Sea, not in Red Sea or anywhere else. It has to be present in the South China Sea, SCS. So it's present in the South China Sea. A is the right answer. Very good, lost girl, whatever your name is. So yeah, you have given the right answer. Very good job. Done. So I hope, you're now at least able to answer these questions because these are very precise ones. Very, very important questions these are. and you have to have a decent level of understanding as well. So I'll just show you on the map. Just hold on. Let me just show you. Yeah, have a look at this. So here we have, Natuna Sea, North Natuna Sea, Natuna Islands we have. So this is Indonesia, and north of the Indonesia we have Natuna Islands. Now what is the problem? That this is South China Sea, and in South China Sea we see that China has a lot of influence. And because China has a lot of influence, so that is what the biggest problem is. So remember this thing. It is also known as Bunguran Island. It is the largest island in the Natuna Islands, and it is in the northernmost part of Indonesia. Very much important this point is Natuna Island. Easy. Okay, moving ahead, let me just take you to the next question. Let me load it. Okay, now next we have a similar question. Next question says, Sandy Cay Reef, recently which was seen in news, is located in which of the following regions? That's the question. Sandy Cay Reef, as we talk about. Tell me. So we have Thittu Island, we have Subbi Reef, we have Sandy Cay Reef, we have Whitsun Reef. All these reefs, if you have heard about, very important reefs these are, and they are present in the South China Sea. South China Sea is again the right answer. You can have a look at this. So this is Sandy Cay, and this is South China Sea where it is present. Near north of the Spratly Islands. Spratly Island is also very much in dispute. So China have this concept like 9-dash line. So anything which is in the 9-dash line belongs to China. That is what the problem is. So China challenged the sovereignty of any other country in this very region. So remember, this is also a part of South China Sea. So remember about these names, very important. These are Spratly Island, South China Sea, Subbi Reef, Thittu Island, Sandy Cay, Whitsun Reef. All these are part of this, and you can see China's 9-dash line. So they are within China's 9-dash line. So question comes that China's 9-dash line. Okay, Moman, I get the point. So, at times we talk about China's 9-dash line. So, China's 9-dash line is within the South China Sea. We got to understand that. Very easy. Next one, let's talk about. The Taurus KEPD 350 recently were in news. It is best described as which of the following? Long cruise range missile developed by Germany. Short range ballistic missile developed by Israel. Surface to air missile by France. Hypersonic glide vehicle by Russia. So how do you look at it? Very good. So recently it was in news actually, that's why I put this question. It is one of the most modern weapon system which is being used by the German military. Got it? So it can travel up to 1100 plus kilometer per hour, and it can hit up to 500 kilometers away. So it's a German thing. So Taurus KEPD 350 is being used by Germany basically. So it belongs to Germany only. So A is the right answer. Is that clear, everyone? It's a very basic question we have to be understanding. So at times, if you get such questions, only you can answer if you have read that beforehand. So there is no, you can't do intelligent guess in such questions because these are very much, precise kind of questions. So that is the reason we have to know about this particular thing. So if you talk about the place of origin, let me tell you in detail that of course Germany has developed that, and some help was taken from Sweden as well. So I can say that Germany and Sweden both have been involved in developing this particular thing. So this is also a point we need to understand. German and Swedish, both. But anyways, so this is very much important. Okay. Moving ahead, the case of Shanti Bhushan versus Supreme Court of India, that is from 2018. Recently, again, this was in a lot of news. It is related to which of the following issues? Okay, tell me. Electoral bonds, the power and the role of the Chief Justice, reservation and promotion for the SCs, the power of the Election Commission in conducting the free elections. Now, that's a very important question. Again, so tell me, this is related to which of the following? That is my question. Shanti Bhushan versus the Supreme Court of India. Very good. So now just imagine it's now versus Union of India, it's versus Supreme Court of India. That is what the question is. Now let me tell you one thing, recently we not we, everybody has been talking about this thing that in Supreme Court, basically, Chief Justice is very much powerful. That's one thing we have to understand. So what is more important is there is a system of master of roster, this particular aspect. Master of roster, which is Chief Justice of India. And since Chief Justice of India is of course heading that particular institution, that is why his powers, or Chief Justice of India's powers, they were in a lot of questions. So this is one thing we have to understand as the master of roster. So that's why this is the point we have to understand. So anyways, former Supreme Court Justice A.S. Oka emphasized on more democratized institutional manner rather than being heavily centered around the Chief Justice of India. So there should be a democratic manner in the Supreme Court. This is what is being asked. So why do I say about that? Because what is master of roster doctrine? That Chief Justice of India is going to see which bench will hear which case, which judge will be assigned to the bench, when the case is listed for the hearing. Everything is being decided by Chief Justice alone, which is not a good thing. And that is what the master of the roster doctrine is all about. So remember this thing, that this particular case was about this idea. Got it? So again, it was in a lot of news, and that's why this is something we have to understand precisely. Okay, let's move to the next one. Next question is about a government initiative which is known as Jalaj initiative. It was in the news recently. It is mainly associated with which of the following objective? That's my question. Jalaj initiative, promoting inland waterways for the cargo transport, promoting ecotourism and sustainable livelihood along the Ganga basin, construction of the check banks and irrigation infrastructure, conservation of the wetlands under Ramsar Convention. What is it? So recently, Union Minister of Jal Shakti had a proper review meeting basically on the Jalaj initiative. Let me tell you one thing. So when we talk about this particular initiative, who is involved, which organization is involved is very much important. So National Mission for Clean Ganga is involved in collaboration with the Wildlife Institute of India. They are doing that. So remember, it is related very much to the river Ganga. So that is one point we have to understand. But how do we prepare the Ganga basin for ecotourism and sustainable livelihood? That is what we need to understand. So they are aiming to establish Jalaj centers across Ganga basin. So they will have, dolphin safaris, homestays, livelihood centers, sale points, everything will be there. They will be known as Jalaj centers. This is quite an important thing. And ultimately, sustainable tourism and sustainable economic development is going to be promoted through this particular initiative. That is what the plan is. So this is a great initiative, I would say. So it has been launched by National Mission for Clean Ganga. That's one thing. And recently, Union Ministry of Jal Shakti also had a ministry meeting around that. 75 Jalaj centers are going to be established. So it's related to river Ganga. You can have multiple questions on this. There can be a question that Jalaj initiative is related to which river? Is it Ganga? Is it Yamuna? Is it any other river? So this question can also be asked. So you have to have a decent idea that if a question comes, how do you answer that particular question? Got the point, everyone? So I hope I'm able to make this thing very much clear, that how in the first place are you supposed to be answering this very question. That is what the idea is precisely. Okay, perfect. Moving to the next one. So these are initiatives which are going to be important from the examination point of view. Next point, next question in fact which I have is, area based development approach and pan city projects are related to the provisions of which of the following? ABD and pan city projects. Okay, so tell me, is it Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Atal Rejuvenation Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission, or Smart Cities Mission? Very good. Now I want to make an explanation on that in detail. What we observed is that in smart city missions, massive investments have been done. From 2015 to 2025, if you see, we have done so much investment in 10-11 years. However, there are so many shortcomings, especially in terms of maintenance and sustainability. For example, just to tell you, for example, if you talk about Pune, so much money was spent under smart city mission. Even in the Bengaluru, we had so much money spent on this smart city mission, but still we have the flooding situation. So India's smart city mission was supposed to address various growing, urban challenges, but it has not been able to do that very much effectively. Anyways, so what was the approach of the smart cities mission? That is the biggest thing. Cities are being developed using area-based development approach. So when we talk about ABD or area-based development, what exactly is that? That basically means redevelopment, or somewhere we can have new projects also. So whatever area needs, we are going to provide with that. So each of the 100 cities were selected and targeted interventions were done. So in India, we had proper, 100 cities which were selected for the smart cities mission. Across the India, we had that. So every city has included pan-city projects, which were basically technology-driven solutions. So remember this thing, that the answer, of course, is smart cities mission, because we have got area-based development. We have selected some cities, and we have, of course, pan-city projects. That whatever cities we select, any city which we select, we are going to have proper pan-city projects in that. This is the most important thing. So I hope this idea is absolutely clear. Everyone got it? So 100 smart cities were there, which we have to be understanding. Perfect. So now let me tell you one very interesting thing, which examiner will expect out of you. That, for example, you belong to any state for that matter. Clear? If I come from Punjab, I should know that from Punjab, which cities have been selected. It's as simple as that. So you have to know about this very bare minimum thing, that if any state you come from, you're preparing for the PCS of that particular state, you are expected to know about the cities selected for the smart city mission from your particular state. Like Ludhiana, Amritsar and Jalandhar were from Punjab. Similarly, from any other state, you are supposed to know that. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. Very important this point is. So you are just expected to know that, because in exam, they will be, giving you these type of questions. All right. Okay. Anyway, so I hope now you know that D is the right answer. Moving ahead, Chandrayaan 5 is also known as LUPEX. It's a joint lunar mission between which two countries? Of course, one is India. Which one is the other? Russia, Japan, France, USA. Tell me. Good job. Now that's a very basic one. So I think this is one of the easiest questions. You are expected to know about this particular thing. So what is LUPEX? Lunar Polar Exploration Mission, right? LUPEX. So basically it is India's ISRO and JAXA. So JAXA belongs to Japan. So remember, it is India and Japan. This can be a very important question if you get that in the exam. Got it? So basically it is scheduled for 2027, 2028. We are going to be using, H3 rocket from Japan. That is going to be very much instrumental. Rover, like we had Pragyan rover, will be naming that rover as well. It will be developed by JAXA. And lander, like we had Vikram lander, it will be developed by ISRO. So they are having a joint mission. So ISRO will be having lander, Japan will be developing the rover, and they will carry different scientific instruments also. So this is going to be a great mission. India and Japan both are coming together for Chandrayaan 5. Please be very much clear about this thing. So you can have detailed question as well on that. That who is developing rover? Japan. Who is developing lander? That is ISRO. Whose rocket we are going to use? Japan's rocket. So these are, very much important questions which you are going to be having in the examination. So be very much clear with that. Got the point? Okay. So I'm talking about Chandrayaan 5, not Chandrayaan 4. Please don't confuse in this particular aspect. Okay. Because Chandrayaan 4 will be launched around 2027, and after that we'll have Chandrayaan 5. I hope this idea is clear. Don't worry, you'll be getting everything in the PDF. Let's go to the next one. Okay. In June 2025, United Nations General Assembly declared which year as International Year of Women Farmers? Very important question this is. Tell me. International Year for Women Farmers. So you are, expected to answer such questions. For example, if I talk about, International Year of Sustainable Tourism, this can be a question in exam. So if I ask you International Year of Sustainable Tourism, which year has been declared? It is 2027. Got it? That is 2027 we have. If I talk about International Year of Millets, this was in a lot of news, of course, that was 2023. Got it? So every year has some, relevance. For example, internationally for camels, that was 2024. Got it? And if I talk about 2025, we have International Year of Cooperatives or even Quantum Science and Technology. But the answer to this question, as we talk about women farmers, it is 2026. That is the upcoming year, the next year which we'll have, that will be related to the International Year of Women Farmers. Very, very important this point is. So this is the right answer. So please be very much clear. So if I ask you sustainable or resilient tourism, that is 2027. Millets, that was 2023. Camellets was 2024. I'll tell you what kind of question examiner can frame. They can have pair wala question, right? So they'll put millets 2023, camellets 2024, and then when you have to answer, it becomes a very tough question. You have to match the pairs, that actually become very much tough. So please be very much clear in this regards. So I'll also write that 2025, if we talk about, that is International Year of quantum science, yeah, you can say quantum science and technology. Quantum science and technology, that is this year, that is 2025. So 2025 is International Year of Quantum Science and Technology by UN, and this is also year of cooperatives. So please be very much clear. So these are the things which you have to keep in your mind. You in fact have to cram. There is no way out. You have to keep these things in your minds always. I hope this makes some sense to you, everyone. Okay, chalo ji. So let me show you over screen as well. Now this is from the UN website, but you have to keep this thing in your mind. Women farmers, quantum science and technology 2025. Year of cooperatives is also 2025. Just remember this thing. And we are done with this millets year 2023. We are done. 2025 is also year of peace and trust. Camellets was 2024. And sustainable tourism 2027. Just remember these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these can be very much important from examination point of view. Any this in some initiatives? Yes, a lot of significance. For example, I can tell you, like 2023 was year of millets. So you pick any news of 2023. Every week there was a news about millets. Government focused a lot on the millets. Our millet production also went under increase. We also started research and development on the millets varieties. So basically, when we pick a particular theme for a year, that precisely mean that that particular country is going to focus more on these particular things. For example, 2025 is all about quantum science and technology, which we can see. What is AI? Artificial intelligence is all about this, Bitcoin mining, everything it's related to this particular aspect. So yeah, this is very much important. Okay. Next one. Next is very much interesting. Kharai camel was in a lot of news. It's native of which state of India? Is it Gujarat? Is it Rajasthan? Is it MP? Is it Haryana? Kharai camels. Now the beauty is that they can swim over long distance. As you can see, they are swimming on the water. So they are able to swim. They can digest the salty vegetation also. And they can very well survive, in such areas. So if they can swim, in Rajasthan, there is very less opportunity of swimming. So it has to be Gujarat, because in Rann of Kutch, you have a lot of opportunity of swimming like this. Jamnagar area. So Kharai camels, basically they are living in that particular area, and in Kutch area basically we see a lot of camels like these. They feed on the mangroves. So you know the salty vegetation, basically mangroves, they can easily feed on the mangroves, and they can survive on the land and sea. They can swim over long distance, and they're very good at adapting themselves in that particular area. These are the Kharai camels. Got it. So body has adapted over a period of time. Wherever you are living, your body will get adapted to that particular thing. This is the beauty of adaptation. I hope this idea is clear, everyone. Okay. Moving ahead, let's move to the next one. Next question is again very much important. India has set a target of generating 100 gigawatt of nuclear power. 100 gigawatt of nuclear power we are aiming to generate. So presently we are generating only 8 to 9 gigawatt. So our target is 100 gigawatt. By what year are we aiming that? Tell me. By what year is India aiming to generate 100 gigawatt of nuclear power? Now nuclear power is a clean power, right? Except for the nuclear fuel which we have to dispose, everything else is fine. So nuclear power is considered as a clean source. So tell me, what is the right answer? Good job. Okay, so having said that, let me tell you, no doubt by 2070 we are going to go net zero. India is going to go net zero by 2070. But India also want to become Viksit Bharat by 2047, and that is how we relate to this. So when India become Viksit Bharat, we want to make sure that we have at least 100 gigawatt of nuclear power. We want to make sure of that. So remember, B is the right answer. Viksit Bharat theme also have this thing, and let me tell you why it is important, because in our budget this year, that is 2025 2026 budget, we had this particular thing which was very well given by the minister. So it's part of Viksit Bharat idea. We got to understand that. All right. So please keep this thing in your mind, that presently of course we have very less nuclear power, but we are going to increase that multi-folds, no doubt about this thing. Got it? Moving ahead of this, now we have a very important one. We want to, in India, combat the cyber crimes. Cyber crimes are increasing very much. So what is the name of the operation launched by CBI in order to combat the cyber crime, which include the mule bank accounts? So many mule bank accounts are there. So in order to fight that particular thing in the areas of Delhi, Haryana, UP, Maharashtra, even Jharkhand, we have this particular thing. So tell me. So we have so many fraudulent mobile applications, so many fraudulent WhatsApp groups which are there, and they thug a lot of people badly. So this is known as Operation Chakra 5. So please remember this thing. This is very much important. So the question can directly come. So operation by CBI is Operation Chakra 5. This is to combat cybercrime which include the mule bank accounts. Very important this is. Without KYC, a lot of accounts exist basically. So this creates a lot of problem for innocent people. See, I'll tell you something, what happens in India. Unfortunately, we lack digital literacy. And when we talk about this digital literacy aspect, since we don't have sufficient digital literacy, a lot of people fall prey to these things, and that creates a lot of problem. Okay, moving to the next one. So let's focus on the next question. This was also covered in the Hindu newspaper. You can see, Operation Chakra by CBI. So this is why I have included this. So Chakra 5 to be precise, So if a question comes, you have to, so V stands for basically 5. So Chakra 5 it is. If a question is about Chakra 4, that was different. Chakra 2 was different. 3 was different. So 5 has to be very much specific. Okay. Moving ahead. What is the name of the first fast patrol vessel inducted under this FPV project of Indian Coast Guard? So recently, this word was in a lot of news. For the patrolling of India's seas, India's coastline, we require these patrol vessels, and the name is Adamya. Adamya FPV is the right answer. This is how it looks like, Adamya FPV. So basically, since it's the first ship of this class, so that's why the entire class will be known as Adamya class of patrol vessels. Adamya class of patrol vessels. So let me tell you one thing. Most of the patrol vessels of Indian Coast Guards, they are built by the Goa shipyard. Goa Shipyard Limited. So if a question comes related to fast patrol vessels and you have to do the guesswork, always pick Goa as the right answer. If there is a question that, okay, the fast patrol vessels are built by which shipyard of India? Because in India, we have so many shipyards. We have Garden Reach in Kolkata, we have Mazagon Docks, we have Cochin Shipyard, we have Goa Shipyard. So Goa, and we have Vizag as well. So 5-6 important shipyards are there. But FPVs are always built by the Goa Shipyard, which is in Goa, of course. Very important this is. So reflecting the theme of Atmanirbharta, this is what we need to understand. Moving ahead, remember, okay, this question. What is the target set by Indian Railways to achieve the target of net zero? Now, this is a very important question because India as a whole will achieve the net zero as we target by 2070. By 2047, we aim that nuclear power of 100 gigawatt. Now, this is something we have already talked about. But my question is, Indian Railways will go net zero by what time? Tell me. Net zero target of Indian Railways. So let me tell you, this is again a very important thing. It is by 2030, we are going to become the net zero emitter. That is railways basically will become the net zero emitter. And this is something which is told by PIB. So the source is PIB, very much important. So net zero target of Indian Railways is precisely 2030. So please make sure you make notes of this. Okay, make sure you make notes of this thing. Very important. This is India's net zero is 2070. And by 2047, Viksit Bharat, we have nuclear power 100 gigawatt. I've already talked about that. And please, in your notes, add this thing as well, that we are going to have what? By 2030, Indian Railways are going to be net zero. So how are they going to do that? Indian Railways are going to go net zero. How? They can do that by using electrification, by using electric trains more and more, by phasing out the diesel engine and moving solely to the electric trains as they are doing that. So please remember this thing. So this is by PIB. So Indian Railways set the target of net zero by 2030. Easy. So they are focusing on the electric locomotives and so many other aspects as well. They are focusing on the energy efficiency as well. Next question says, Lake Tahoe, which was in a lot of news for some bad reasons, is located where? So we saw a massive accident happening there. A lot of people lost their life. So it's basically in California in United States of America. So Lake Tahoe was in a lot of news and it is here. So in California we have Lake Tahoe. So please remember this thing. United States of America is where Lake Tahoe is located. Basic question. Got it. Okay, moving ahead. Mount Lakilaki was seen in news. Where exactly is it located? Tell me. So basically it's a volcano. If it's a volcano, where can it be located? So if we have to do the guesswork, in case of volcano, the safest option will be choose what? Indonesia. Got it? So you certainly here as well can choose Indonesia. If you don't know that, you still can choose Indonesia and there is a high chance it will be absolutely correct. Got it? So you have a great chance of getting the correct answer if you pick Indonesia as the right answer. So which is absolutely correct over here. So just remember this thing. Here somewhere we have like Indonesia is like this. So Bali is a part of Indonesia. Jakarta is the capital of Indonesia. And Mount Lakilaki basically is on the Flores Island. It erupted recently in the June month Mid of June basically it did the eruption. Very important this is. Okay. Next one says, Harop drone has been developed by which of the following country? Harop drone. So India did use that. So that's why it was in a lot of news. Tell me. So I'm talking about the Harop drone. So you will be getting a lot of questions about the drones because of the Operation Sindoor, we have seen so much happening in these lines, and that's the reason why it is in a lot of news. So please prepare that very much diligently. Good job. Harop drone. Since it was used by India, so that's why we just need to understand it was built by Israel. So we are not using anything by China. It is not by Russia or France as well. C is the right answer. So now I have one more question. If I give you a question, Bayraktar drone, UAV or drone, whatever you may call it. Now Bayraktar drone comes from which country? Bayraktar TB2. So it is from which country? Bayraktar. So from India side, we did use Harop. From Pakistan, they were using Bayraktar. So Bayraktar is from, think about it. If Pakistan is using it, there's a high chance it comes from Turkey. So remember, it is from Turkey. So Turkey is the origin. Turkey gave it to Pakistan. Israel gave Harop drone to India. This is parallelly, you have to understand this. Very important. So these questions, let me tell you, can very well be there in the exam. And trust me, if you have not revised it, it becomes very much difficult in the exam to answer these questions. So they're not going to ask you about the Iron Dome. Everybody knows about Israel using that. They'll be asking you questions which are a bit obscure, like Harop drone, not much in news. Bayraktar TB2, not much in news. They're going to be framing questions on these. Got it? So anyways, so we know that India has been using, Harop drone system used by India to target Pakistan's air defense system during May month. Of course, Operation Sindoor I'm talking about. Very important. Shall we move ahead? Okay. Now, moving ahead, the next question is a very important one. We at times talk about HIMARS system. So let me just ask you this question. HIMARS, it is developed by which country? High mobility artillery rocket system. So which country has developed that? Very good. It is US, France, Israel or Russia. HIMARS. Now let me tell you, it's an American system which America recently supplied to Taiwan. You know Taiwan? So if somebody says who developed that, of course it has to be United States of America. A is the right answer. And America supplied it to Taiwan, and Taiwan was recently using that basically for the, for basically the military tests, or they were using it as a trial. They were checking that if it works or not, and what is the range of it. Everything they were checking that. So HIMARS is basically, it has been developed by United States of America. Very important this is. So it's like Pinaka. If you know, India has Pinaka. So it's very much similar to that. So this is what we need to understand, multi-barrel system, very fine system it is, something like this. You can have a look. So Pinaka, of course, have more barrels. It has got just 6 barrels, but of course, it's very much effective system, which we have seen. Anyone? So I hope you all know about Pinaka. So this question as well can be asked to you that, what exactly is Pinaka? It's a multi-barrel rocket launcher, which you must have seen in the Republic Day parades as well. In so many Republic Day parades, you must have, seen Pinaka. So the best part is that Pinaka's 2 batteries, it has got like 12 in total. So 6 each. So 12 barrels it has got Pinaka, but here we have just 6 barrels. So anyways, moving ahead. So Pinaka has one more like this, 6 and then 6. Moving ahead, which country recently has become the latest member to adopt Euro as its currency? Very important again. Which country recently has adopted Euro as its currency? Very good. So again, that's a current affair from July. If I'm not wrong, July 2025, it was in a lot of news. So that's why I'm asking you, because these news are going to be making a lot of, they're carrying a lot of importance. Good job. So I'm talking about which country are we talking about? Perfect. It is Bulgaria. So Bulgaria is the latest one. It is the latest country who has adopted euro as a currency, or you can say it's a part of eurozone now. So let me tell you, if you talk about EU, European Union, in European Union you have 27 countries, 27 members are there. But if I talk about eurozone, we have only 21 countries which are a part of eurozone. So please be very much clear in this regards that eurozone has got how many countries? 21 countries itself. So that's very much important. So anyways, and please be very much clear that Norway is not part of EU. Of course, UK is not a part of EU. Switzerland is also not a part of EU. So these are some important countries which are not a part of EU. Got it? So this is very much important. Moving ahead. What is the rank of India in the recent Sustainable Development Goals Index? Please make separate notes for all the India's ranks. India's ranks in various indexes. It can be Gender Gap Index, in World Happiness Index, or it can be SDG Index. You have to make proper note for that so that you can revise it one day before the exam. That is going to be instrumental. So SDG Index basically is an index of 167 countries total. And India's rank is within top 100. Finally, for the first time we are in top 100, and India's rank is 99th. Not a great rank, but better than what we were having before. So last time I think it was 109 rank. So from 109 rank we have moved 10 position up, and we have moved to 99th rank, which is a great achievement, I would say. So when we talk about sustainable development goals, how well India has done in those goals, that is what matters. And according to that only, we are given this particular ranking. Is that clear? So 99th rank India has got. Very important, this thing. SDG index. Again, that was in June, July. Very important, this index is. Next one again is a rank. Now this one is comparatively easy. UNDP has released HDI index. What is the rank of India in 193 nations? What rank does India hold? Now this time, the report which we saw, UNDP's HDR report, its theme is very much important. So the report which was titled, a matter of choice, people and possibilities in the age of AI. So that theme I'll show you also, in this, don't worry. But anyways, the rank is 130. C is the right answer. We have got C as the right answer. So amongst 193 countries, we have got 130th rank for India. That's one thing. And remember that this theme is going to be important from examination point of view, that what exactly was the theme of 2025 HDR report. That is a matter of choice, people and possibilities in the age of AI. This is going to be super important. Please remember this thing. So you can have a direct question being asked on the theme of this year's HDI report, or HDR report basically as we call it. You can have a direct question on that. Got the point? Perfect. So let's move ahead of this question. Next question says, Special 301 report has been published by which of the following organization? Special 301 report I'm talking about. So think about it. Very good. Now, when we talk about these reports, let me tell you, some countries focus on their trade interests. Of course, India also does that. But this becomes a bit of a problem for other countries like USA. And then they come up with these reports, that is US Trade Representative Initiative, USTR. So C is the right answer. Remember this thing. So USTR Special 301 report has been making a lot of news basically. So it's all about, effective protection of intellectual property rights or the fair access to US rights holders in India. This is how we look at it. Now, what exactly is the problem here? Let me tell you. For example, we talk about the pharma companies. They do a lot of R&D in USA. And when they do a lot of research and development in USA, they come to India. And in India, we do make generic medicines, which actually, is not appreciated by US. Why? Because they do a lot of research and development. Money, they spent a lot on that. But anyway, so what is more important is that India has been placed on the priority watch list in the special 301 report. So India is on the priority watch list on this very report. This is what you need to understand. Got the point? Okay, moving ahead. Secure project is basically a very important initiative of which of the following country? Secure I'm talking about. Tell me. I'm talking about the Secure. So when we talk about secure, it's made up of two words. One is C and another one is cure. And let me tell you, this is an initiative of UK, United Kingdom. So D is the right answer. UK's initiative we have secure. So it's basically about testing if taking carbon directly from seawater can be a low cost and large scale way of cutting down carbon dioxide in air. So basically it's experimenting. It's in the beta stage only. So it's all about removing carbon dioxide from the sea. So that's why sea cure. So how you cure the sea? By removing the carbon dioxide from sea. This is what it is all about. Got the point? I hope this idea is absolutely clear. So when we talk about the secure, it's related to UK, and what it is all about, I've already told you. Very much important point. Got the point? Okay. Next one says, now this is a very basic question. Who is the new CAG of India? Now this actually is a very basic one. I'm sure you know that. K. Sanjay Murthy is the one. So after Mr. Murmu, we have K. Sanjay Murthy is the new CAG of India. So he in November 2024 only he became the 15th CAG of India. That's what you need to understand. Anyways, the next question is quite important. What is the rank of India in the Global Gender Gap Index released by whom? World Economic Forum. So World Economic Forum released the Global Gender Gap Index recently. So again, it was in June or July, it was in a lot of news. So India has slipped to the rank 131. So it's a sad thing that India has slipped to the rank 131. So who is on the top? Of course, Iceland is on the top, and India has slipped to rank. So last year it was, I think, 129th rank. This year we have slipped 2 positions and we have gone to 131 rank. So please remember, like HDI rank, I've told you 130. Gender Gap Index, it is 131. Sustainable Development, we have 99th rank. So write it down on a piece of paper, only then you will be able to, recall that in the exam. Otherwise, it's going to be very much tough for you guys. So remember, that's on the top we have the Iceland. India is on the rank 131. Last year it was 129th rank. Next question says, which of the following is the world's largest container ship? Now, this is also a very important question because it recently visited India. Now, you would be amazed to know that it can carry about 24,300 containers. Just imagine. More than 24,000 containers it can carry. More than 24,000 containers it can carry. It's such a massive ship we have. So, what is the right answer? Good job. So let me tell you, in one container you can have up to 6 cars, like the not so big cars if you have. So you can even have 6 cars in one container. So you can very well imagine this particular thing, that if you have small cars and you are having 6 cars in one container, so how much cars it is able to carry? Even if 5 cars, you think more than 1 lakh cars it can carry at a moment. in one go. So this is the capacity which we are talking about, massive capacities. So it is MSC Irina. So more than 24,300 containers it can carry. So it is massive, and it did visit India as well. It was in a lot of news actually. So world's largest container. So this is the news of Hindu, the Hindu newspaper. The world's largest container ship made historic debut at Vizhinjam port, which is in Kerala, of course. So you can, now I'll tell you why India is boasting that. Of course, this ship doesn't belong to us. But what makes this so much special, let me tell you. When we talk about this very ship, this means that India has got capability of berthing such ships in their port. Let me tell you, MSC Irina cannot go anywhere and everywhere because it's such a heavy ship that it have to have proper depth, only then it can enter the port. So if it is entering this port, this means this port is very much special. Okay? So it requires deep waters at the port. If the water is not properly, having the depth, it will get stuck. So if MSC Irina is coming, this means your port is better. This means your port infrastructure is good. That's why India is boasting that. Please keep this thing in your mind. I hope you're getting this point. Got it? So this ship cannot enter any random port. It will enter your port only when you're having such, better infrastructure. Okay, next question is also about the ranking. Let's do it. In the Global Innovation Index 2024, the ranking were released this year only. What is the rank of India? 38, 39, 40, 41. Good job. So the best part is that India has been improving every year. When we talk about this Global Innovation Index, India actually has been doing a great job. So India is improving itself every year. So there was a time when we were at 80 or 81 rank in 2015. But now we are in the top 40 and our rank is 39th. So this also is very much important. In the Global Innovation Index, we have moved from 81 rank to 39th rank in a gap of 10 years. In the past 10 years, India has focused so much on the research that India has improved the rank. So please remember this thing, that 39th rank is what India has achieved over a period of time. So that's a snippet from the PIB. Got the point? So it is published by whom? WIPO. World Intellectual Property Organization comes up with Global Innovation Index. So WIPO is the organization coming up with this particular thing. So India has got 39th rank. And I think 133 countries we have got that. So Global Innovation Index as we talk about. All right. So I hope now you know that how do you make your notes, how do you make proper notes of this? You have to, properly take, notes of this particular thing, which is very much important. And all the ranks, make sure you write on one A4 sheet. Single A4 sheet has to contain all the ranks. That is only a way to go about it. Okay, recently a missile was in a lot of news, that is icebreaker missile. It has been developed by which country? Icebreaker missile. So Indian Air Force is planning to acquire icebreaker missile from which country? This was in a lot of news actually. It's a long range air launch cruise missile and the precision is very much high. So we are aiming to get that from Israel. Remember, C is the right answer. Icebreaker missile I'm talking about. So icebreaker missile has been built by which organization? Let me tell you that also. When we talk about the icebreaker missile, it has been built by Rafale. Now Rafale is basically a defense company. It is a defense company. And this defense company belongs to which country? To Israel. Always remember this thing. So this is a defense company from Israel. So please don't get confused. Rafale aircraft is not a company. Rafale aircraft is built by Dassault Aviation of France. That is a different thing altogether. So if somebody asks you that Rafale company is from which country, you will say it is from Israel. I hope this idea is absolutely clear. But you got the point or not? Please never ever get confused at this. So if I talk about Rafale as a company, so Rafale company belongs to Israel. If I talk about Rafale as an aircraft or a fighter aircraft, of course it comes from France, but Rafale is built by Dassault Aviation. So Dassault Aviation built or developed the Rafale fighter jet. Okay. So Rafale fighter jet, which India also have, has been developed by Dassault Aviation of France. It's French company. But Israel's company, which is, producing a lot of aircraft and drones and everything, its name is Rafale. So I hope now it's absolutely clear. So Rafale aircraft is from France. Rafale company is from Israel. I know it's confusing, but I hope now it is absolutely clear. Very important point. Bete, is this clear or not now? So I know in exam, otherwise, when you see Rafale, the first thing which comes to the mind is France. But please read the question very much carefully, only then answer. I hope it's clear. Okay, let's move to the next question. Recently, two wetlands in India, that is Minar and Kitchen, they were in a lot of news, known for very, very beautiful, cranes, birds, flamingos, lot of migratory birds, peacocks. So they belong to which state of India? Good job. So let me tell you, Kitchen, which is in Falodi area of Rajasthan, and Minar is basically in Udaipur. So they are both coming from Rajasthan. And recently in the month of June, that is 5th of June, World Environment Day, these two were declared as Ramsar sites. So these two have been added to the tally. So with the addition of two, so basically we had 89 Ramsar sites. With the addition of two, now we have 91 Ramsar sites in India. 91 Ramsar sites we have in India. Very important this is. How many Ramsar sites we have? 91 we have. Of course, this number may change when you go to the exam. I don't guarantee that number will stay the same. But still, you are supposed to have a bare minimum idea about this thing. Very important this is. So we can see, Kitchen and Minar, they're both in Rajasthan. And now we have, tally increased to 91. On the World Environment Day, with the theme of beat plastic pollution, we did declare this particular thing precisely. Is that clear? So anybody who is counting that how many questions we have done? So I was targeting that at least we should be doing, 50 questions. So can anybody tell me if you are counting, because I'm not counting. So how many questions have we done? 40, I think more than 40 maybe. Anybody who can tell me exact? So Manav is saying 40. Achha, 47. Okay, maybe. So around 50, we have done, I guess. So anyway, so, what is, again, more important is that we have to focus on the important questions only. So these are basically the most important questions we have. Very, very, important questions we have. Achha, 32. Okay. Maybe you joined a bit late as well. Okay, maybe 32. Anyway, so now these are very much important questions which we have done today in this very class. And let me be very clear that, these questions directly or indirectly can be a part of your examination. You have to make sure that you revise these questions and make notes out of it, as in put all those rank questions in one list, and you revise that again and again. Put all the defense questions separate, revise that again and again. And trust me, that builds a lot of confidence, and you should have your own notes, because one day before the examination, what you study is what defines your success. That's very much important. Got the point? So I am hopeful that this session has added a lot of confidence to your preparation. So this much is what we are going to be covering today in this very class. And that's it from my side. So till 14th, we are going to be having such marathons going on, or such mocks going on basically, which will be having a lot of GK questions coming up your way. And that's very much it from my side. Don't worry, you'll be getting the PDF of the session in the Telegram itself. Hanji, you're welcome, Ji, you're welcome. How many more such sessions will come? I've told you, Tushar, by till 14th, like the CDS examination, we are going to have more such sessions. Yeah. So ultimately, these sessions help you in building some confidence, that you get to know that, okay, these are the things which are important. These are the things which are very much important. That is why I hold such sessions. Yeah, Narendra, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, Harman, thank you. Kulvinder, Rajiv, thank you so much. Tushar, Jagrup, Anukriti, Harman, everyone. So Mumal, thank you so very much. and I hope, you know, these sessions are going to be playing important role in your exam, you know, whatever exam you're targeting, it will surely be helping you out. Thank you so very much.